has been that Mitchell Trubisky was in line to be the opening day starter, the favorite to be that guy. And when you talk to people now, here's what you keep hearing, that the young kid is, quote unquote, coming on, and he's coming quick.
Yep.
And so I don't know when they're going to get to Kenny Pickett, but they're going to get to Kenny Pickett at some point in the season. I think essentially as soon as Mitchell Trubisky has a stumble early in the season, that'll open the door to get to Kenny Pickett.
Okay, let me start with you here, Tim. At what point do you think does Kenny Pickett become the Steelers quarterback?
I think Kenny Pickett's the starting quarterback by week 4. You know, you heard Adam refer to Kenny Pickett as the young kid. The reality is he's not a young kid, which is one of the reasons I think they should play him right away. He's over 24 years old. And for perspective on this, Kenny Pickett is older than every quarterback that was drafted in the first round in the 2020 draft. Kenny Pickett is older than Jalen Hurts, who is going into his 3rd year in the National Football League. Kenny Pickett has nearly 50 starts at the college level. Like, some guys get drafted on potential of what they might be. Some guys get drafted, high because they're ready to come in and play. That, to me, is Kenny Pickett. He wasn't a potential pick. He was a pick because he'd played a lot of football. He'd weathered the storm as a college quarterback, and I think people liked what they saw. So for me, I wouldn't put him on the sideline to learn the game. He's learned the game. It's time for Kenny Pickett to actually play.
Graz, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. How much of you think it was an advantage for Kenny Pickett because he played his college ball right next door to the Steelers?
Yeah, and not even next door, same building. The facility is shared by the Pittsburgh Steelers and the University of Pittsburgh football team. Like, you go in the front door, and if you go left, it's Steelers. If you go right, it's Pitt. So they've gotten to see him. Like, there are probably Steelers executives that looked out their window and watched him practice while they were working. So they definitely knew him well. Look, they came to camp, and Mike Tomlin said it's going to be a competition. It's very important to Mike Tomlin that everybody knows, especially his players, that he means what he says, and it's a competition. If Pickett wins it, he's going to be the starter. What we heard at the beginning was it's Trubisky's to lose, but they are open to the idea of Pickett winning the job. And if you listen to Adam, it sounds like, that there's a chance that happens. They got a week to go before their last preseason game, and I think this week matters a lot.
Harry, what do you think? At what point Kenny Pickett becomes the Steelers quarterback?
I honestly think he should be starting day one. When you look at a guy like Kenny Pickett versus a Trubisky, I think his pocket presence is a little bit better. You look at a 3rd and 9 situation. It was 3rd and long in that game they just recently played, and he felt pressure to the right side, did a nice job sliding to his left, hitting Chase Claypool. Now, it got negated because of the penalty, but I was looking at Pickett. Then you look at a 2-minute situation right now. Hit Deontay Johnson on a slant quickly. Right up to the ball, got Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, on a quick 5 to 6 yard stick route. Amazing. This third play is what really amazed me right here. The defender coming down the pipe, hanging in the pocket, didn't hit him in the first window. The tight end takes a little mini post. But this last touchdown, understanding, utilizing your motion, that is man coverage, and the linebacker guarding the running back is going to have to fight through traffic, getting the ball to Benny Snell quickly for a touchdown. So those plays by Kenny Pickett, sometimes you just can't teach instincts. And right now, he's showing that he's very instinctive.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I'm with you on the instincts piece, but Mitch Trubisky has some of those instincts as well. What we saw in the game, at least a porous offensive line in the last couple preseason games, has been Mitch Trubisky escaping the pocket, avoiding sacks, avoiding pressure. And Kenny Pickett has some pocket presence and awareness as well. But if you look at just who the Steelers are right now and what Mitch Trubisky has done in the preseason and what Kenny Pickett has done, I don't think that Mitch Trubisky has done anything to lose the starting spot. Now, I get it. Tim makes some great points as far as Kenny Pickett and his age, and Kenny Pickett and his experience, and Kenny Pickett and he doesn't need to sit and learn the game because he looked like a vet out there. But at the same time, I think that Trubisky has been able to show why they signed him, why they gave him the deal that they gave him. And I think when Kenny Pickett's time is there, maybe it's because Trubisky doesn't play well, maybe because of an injury, I think he'll be able to step right in.
So if the Steelers then go with Kenny Pickett as their starter, Graz, let me come to you because we always hear so much about Jimmy G being traded, that teams who need a quarterback. What about Trubisky? Do you think the Steelers then would flip and say, okay, let's try to trade Mitch Trubisky?
I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest idea. I think what we've heard throughout the offseason is, that they would like to be able to trade Mason Rudolph. That might be easier said than done. yeah, if Trubisky has shown well in preseason and someone else out there likes him, then maybe. But, I mean, look, you have to be deep at that position. Even if Pickett wins the job and you go with him, you know, Trubisky's a good guy to have around as a backup. They like him as well. So you got to factor that in. I think the bottom line here is if you're a Steelers fan and before the offseason you were worried about quarterback, you're probably starting to feel a little better about things based on the way the competition has gone.
Yeah, good point there. From one young quarterback to another one. From Pittsburgh to New England, where Mac Jones, he played 3 series in the Patriots' second preseason game, and it was highlighted by that 45-yard completion to Nelson Aguilar that set up a touchdown. Now, on WEEI, Bill Belichick was asked who is going to call plays for his second-year quarterback.
There are a lot of people that are involved in all 3 phases of the game. Ultimately, I'm responsible for all of it. So if you want to ask who's in charge, then it would be me because I have the final say in every area.
All right, so that's what Bill says. He says it's going to be me. I'm the boss here. Harry, what do you think?
It reminds me of that song with Drake and Meek Mill, right? And Drake says, you asked to see the boss, so they sent me. Bill Belichick, I'm the boss. I get the final say here. But when you look at it, man, Bill Belichick, he's not wrong. It's numerous of times I've been on the sideline and the offensive coordinator wanted to call a play, but the head coach has asked him, hey, what are you thinking about calling here?
A lot of the things that we expect them to do in the regular season. You know, similar schedule last year. We came in, hit the ground running. Obviously some different players this year, but I feel like the offense, especially in the last week or so, has been clicking closer to where I think we should be trending.
Okay, so it begs the question here, Harry. I'll start with you. What do you think? Should Aaron Rodgers have gone to OTAs and get a better rapport with his receiving corps that seems to be dropping passes left and right?
I think so. And it's obvious that the person that's throwing these receivers of football right now is Jordan Love, right? It's not Aaron Rodgers. But at the end of the day, when you have a guy of the magnitude of Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVP, him being in that building, being around those young players, probably would have meant a lot to them. It would have gave those guys a lot more confidence going into a training camp versus just showing up at training camp, and that's the first time you're really having serious interactions with your starting quarterback. Now, granted, their position is wide receiver, right? They got to catch the damn football. Bottom line, just catch the football. But I do believe if Aaron Rodgers would have been there a lot more, I think these young guys would feel a little bit better heading into training camp, just rather than arriving at training camp, and that's when you and Aaron Rodgers is trying to get that chemistry.
Okay, Tim, you played the position. What do you think? Should have Aaron Rodgers have attended OTAs?
Look, would it have been helpful? Yes, of course it would have been helpful. Like Tom Brady, if he had those 11 days, would it be helpful to the guys in Tampa Bay? Sure it would. But I think, sometimes we overreact to somebody missing time. So for Aaron Rodgers, what are we talking about in terms of OTAs and mini camps? 15 opportunities, and how many reps with each guy, that we're talking about? So, look, here's what I would say. Does it matter? Yeah, of course it matters. To Harry's point, like, you're taking one of the best players in all of football, putting him around his teammates in that environment. Does that help everyone improve? I'm sure it does. At the same time, like, to think that, hey, look, these guys aren't going to be ready this season because, in June, Aaron Rodgers was in Hawaii, not in Green Bay. That's going to affect this football team when games matter in December. I don't think that's actually the case.
Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that Aaron Rodgers if you're a receiver, you got to catch the ball. I mean, I don't know, like they're not dropping balls from Aaron Rodgers in the games. Jordan Love's throwing the passes in the games. Those drops you see from Dobbs and Rodgers, those are from Jordan Love in the games. So it's not like, if I would have caught more passes from Aaron Rodgers and I would have been a better receiver. No, you just practice. You just get better, right? So I get it. Like, now you have Aaron Rodgers there pushing you and calling you out and making you better. I saw improvement in the game last week from the week before, even though there were still drops. But you can't say, and Tim makes a great point, Aaron Rodgers, you weren't there in OTAs, which are optional, and in minicamp, all these things, right? You actually were there in minicamp, but you weren't there in OTAs, and that's the reason why your receivers aren't catching balls from Jordan. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so for me, that's what the jugs machines are for. The jugs machines, that's what other teammates are for. That's what going home and practicing catching is for. And so, no, the Aaron Rodgers not being there in OTAs in April and May has nothing to do with receivers dropping balls from Jordan Love.
You've seen the movie Little Giants?
Yes.
Come on, hands. Don't let me down.
Graz, where you stand on this?
I just, to me, it's almost irrelevant because he's not going to go to OTAs. Like this isn't like if Aaron Rodgers went to OTAs, it might have helped, but it's not going to happen. You have to succeed within your circumstances. If you're a rookie wide receiver on the Green Bay Packers, you're not going to see Aaron Rodgers until training camp. Sacho knows this. That the new CBA, one of the reasons it almost got blown up at the end was Aaron Rodgers coming in and talking about how he wanted the offseason to be longer. He didn't want to go to Green Bay until August. So that's the way. And what I'm hearing in him talking is, hey, I'm Aaron Rodgers. Like they gotta adjust to me. Like I don't need to go to OTAs just to break in some receivers.